Namaskar everyone, my name is Pooja Divedi. Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic, tropical cyclone, because cyclone Ditwa is coming to make a landfall in Tamil Nadu. And this topic is extremely important. Why? Because Indian Ocean is a region where we find seldom times cyclones which are emerging of challenging nature and also very frequent in nature. So today we are going to discuss cyclone Ditwa first. Then we will talk about how are tropical cyclones formed. Thereafter we are going to discuss the naming of the tropical cyclones because all these are important from the examination perspective. At the last we are also going to witness a question which is of preliminary nature. Okay, so let's first of all know about this cyclone, the cyclone Ditwa. Where did it form and how we are perceiving it? Cyclone Ditwa actually formed in the southwest Bay of Bengal. Southwest Bay of Bengal near Sri Lanka. And that is why Sri Lanka has already been hit by the cyclone Ditwa. Of course, India is a benevolent power in the region. That is why India has sent humanitarian assistance to Sri Lanka under the name of Operation Sagar Bandhu. So first, let's see about this cyclone. This article is saying that cyclone Ditwa forms after rarest storm Senyar. Senyar also formed. Senyar is actually a name which has been given by the UAE. Okay, and Ditwa has been given by, this name has been given by Yemen. And it may hit Tamil Nadu coast soon, very soon. IMD has said this particular thing. You can see this region is showing us the two cyclones, Cyclone Ditwa and Cyclone Senyar, both the cyclones. This is Cyclone Senyar. Cyclone Senyar formed near the Strait of Malacca. So here, let's point it out. It formed near the Strait of Malacca. And just after it, we found that Cyclone Ditwa is also forming in the southwest Bay of Bengal. And this particular region, this region is the main region where this cyclone has been formed and it is now moving towards northward. So first of all, talking about Ditwa, certain things are important. What is the speed? How did it form? Everything. We are going to discuss everything. Make sure that you note along with me. Cyclone Ditwa. Cyclone Ditwa has been formed late in November. It formed pretty late in November, between 25th to 27th of November actually, 25th to 27th November. And it is supposed to make a landfall near the eastern coastal region of India, specifically near Tamil Nadu. And it is suggested that near Tamil Nadu, it will make a landfall within 48 hours. That means by the 30th of November, it will make a landfall. And this cyclone, the name Ditwa, has been given by the country of Yemen, which is actually a lagoon in Socotra region of Yemen. It is named after a lagoon in the Socotra region of Yemen. And it had a trajectory. The trajectory was first a low pressure zone was formed. Low pressure zone. Then a well-marked low was formed. Thereafter, a depression was formed. Thereafter, a deep depression was formed. And finally, it is now a cyclonic storm. So, right now, before making a landfall, it is suggested that it will remain a cyclonic storm. How do we categorize all these categories? We categorize the depression, well-marked low, and everything else on the basis of the speed of the winds. And if I talk about low pressure zone, it is a time when the wind speed is approximately 31 km per hour. Thereafter, well-marked low is when 31 km per hour of wind speed is maintained. Thereafter, depression forms when the wind speed increases approximately between 31 to 49 km per hour. Thereafter, deep depression. In deep depression, you will find wind speed to be 50 to 61 km per hour. And thereafter, 62 kilometer per hour onwards, it will become a cyclonic storm. And cyclone Ditwa is actually a cyclonic storm. Remember that. So Ditwa is a cyclonic storm and it is moving at a speed of 65, as in the wind speed in this storm is 65 kilometer per hour. You have to keep in mind the naming of the cyclone in this region, in the Indian Ocean region, only occurs after it has attained a speed of 62 kilometers per hour. Before that, we do not name it. So once IMD sees that the storm's speed is more than 62 kilometer per hour, then it will name it so. So IMD suggested it. Suggests after 62 kilometer per hour. And hence we have the name Ditwa. All right. So moving forward, if I give you an example, not an example, but if I give you a trajectory of the cyclone, here it is suggesting that near Tamil Nadu, it is going to make a landfall, right? So it is moving north and northwestward under the influence of the trade winds and the Coriolis force. All right. So now it is moving towards Tamil Nadu at a speed of 7 kilometer per hour to 10 kilometer per hour. Given this speed, the IMD is saying that it is supposed to hit the coast of Tamil Nadu very soon. However, not only Tamil Nadu, but southern Andhra Pradesh, Puducherry, Tamil Nadu, all these regions, coastal regions are going to be affected by this particular storm, cyclonic storm. Ditwa is going to make a landfall very soon, which is going to have an impact on our eastern coastal region. The same impact it already had on Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka has recently got the humanitarian assistance from India by the name of, under the name of Operation Sagar Bandhu. Operation Sagar Bandhu is extremely important. Why? Because Sri Lanka is receiving assistance both through the naval force and through the air force. Both this is important because it could be asked that only Navy is providing help. No, both naval force and air force are providing help. Moving on, if I now talk about the particular regions which are being affected, of course I have told you, here we can write not only Tamil Nadu but also Andhra Pradesh, specifically southern region, and Puducherry will also be affected. All right, moving on to our next portion, that is what are tropical cyclones, how are they formed, and why is the Bay of Bengal so much affected? Cyclones. Cyclones come from a Greek word. We know what is the Greek word? Cyclos. Cyclos, this word means coils of a snake. Specifically, if we talk about tropical cyclones. Why? Because temperate cyclones are different in their formation. They form through frontogenesis and they have an inverted V shape. But if we talk about tropical cyclones, specifically for those, the Greek word cyclos, which means coils of a snake, how the snake looks when it is having its coils in formation. So Henry Piddington was the one who said that it just looks like a coil of a snake when we look at tropical cyclones from the top. And cyclones are generally of two nature. First is the tropical cyclones. We are going to talk about them only. And the second is temperate cyclones. So tropical and temperate cyclones both are important for us. Here tropical are important because we are talking about tropical cyclone Ditwa. Tropical cyclones, as the name suggests, it forms between the tropics, specifically 5 degree north to 30 degree north and 5 degrees south to 30 degrees south. So this is an important thing. Why? Because there are reasons why between the 5 degree north to 5 degrees south we do not find any kind of tropical cyclone. Why is it important? I will tell you that as well. So tropical cyclones are what? We have to define them. What are tropical cyclones? If I have to put it in a definition, guys, we can say that it is a low pressure system in which high speed winds are moving inwards. High speed winds move inwards. Why? Because a tropical cyclone forms when there is a low pressure zone, and to fill that low pressure, we know that winds come from high pressure towards the low pressure. The winds start to rotate inward so that they can fill this low pressure zone. These winds are coming from high pressure. So it is very important that we remember that in the tropical cyclones, the winds are moving inwards because the low pressure is inward. This is known as the eye of the cyclone. And that is why in order to fill it, this disturbance is moving inwards. First that. Secondly, the tropical cyclones are formed between the 5° north to 30° north and 5° south to 30° south. This is because in this region, we do not find any sort of Coriolis force. And because of the absence of Coriolis force, cyclones cannot move properly. Tropical cyclones are affected not only by Coriolis force, but also trade winds. That comes from the word trade. Okay. And it was also used for merchant ships. That is why trade winds as well. We will discuss it some other time. Merchant ships. All right. Now, moving ahead, if I have to give you the examples of tropical cyclones names, where they are known as by which name, we have to look from that perspective as well. Take this for example. Tropical cyclones, as they occur between 5° north to 30° north and thereafter same in the southern area, they are named by different names. For example, if we name them in the Indian Ocean region, they are known as just cyclones. Now in the Australian region, near the region of Australia in the Indian Ocean, they are known as Willy Willies. In Pacific Ocean region, they are known as typhoon or typhoon. In Atlantic Ocean, near the same region where the tropical cyclones are formed, they are known as hurricanes. They are the same thing, but because of the difference in regions, they are known by different names. Keep this in mind. All right. What is required to form a cyclone? So we have to see what is the criteria for the formation of a storm, cyclonic storm. The criteria is important. Criteria for the formation of a cyclone. First criteria is we need a low pressure zone. That means temperature plays a very important role here. And when we talk about temperature, we are talking about sea surface temperature. Keep one thing in mind, that sea surface temperature plays a big role. Why? Because cyclones need their fuel through moisture. And that is why tropical cyclones are only and only formed where? Only in the oceans. Remember that. So sea surface temperature forms a big role, has a big role in it. And it should be approximately 26.5 degrees Celsius or above. And the depth has to be 45 meter to 60 meter. That means between 45 meter to 60 meter, if the surface temperature of the ocean becomes this much or above, then it will give birth to a low pressure area. Second is, of course, from there, here we derive low pressure zone. Low pressure zone means that continuously due to heat, the air is rising above, creating a low pressure zone, then finally a depression. And to ensure that this rising air is giving birth to moisture. The next thing that we need is moisture, which will serve as a fuel. Fuel basically comes from the latent heat. Latent heat is a phenomena in which, without increasing the temperature, the form of one object or one state is getting delivered to the next state. Okay, so that is latent heat. So latent heat is important. Moisture serves as a fuel. You have to keep in mind over here that because of these phenomena, tropical oceans are always formed. Tropical cyclones, beg your pardon. Tropical cyclones are always formed in the ocean. Remember this. Thereafter, we need, in order to move the cyclones, we need Coriolis force. And we know that it is absent between 5 degree north to 5 degree south. And that is why even though the temperature of the ocean is very high, no cyclones form over these regions, right? Thereafter, from here, we must ensure that the vertical wind shear is very low. This is also important. So vertical wind shear should be low. What is vertical wind shear? Vertical wind shear means the difference in wind speed between upper atmosphere and lower atmosphere. If there will be too much exchange in speed, then what will happen? This rising air mass will get disturbed. That is why vertical wind shear should be low, approximately 10 meter per second only. Then only properly your cyclones will form. So these are the basic criteria that are necessary for the formation of a cyclone. Moving on, as the cyclone forms, it starts to move. And when it does, it creates havoc in India. Why? If I just give you an example of India with respect to cyclones, it is important to understand it. Why? Because in India, the eastern coastal region is the most affected. Look at this diagram. You will find a lot of understanding why the Bay of Bengal is so much affected by cyclones. This is important for us to know. See, Bay of Bengal this year only has given us many cyclones. And Bay of Bengal first is very warm in nature. Very warm, why? Because of high evaporation. Evaporation is very high. Evaporation is high due to the coming of rivers towards the Bay of Bengal from the Indian region side. We know that many freshwater rivers come here and they give their waters to the Bay of Bengal. That means the infusion of fresh water becomes more in this region, which leads to decrease in salinity. And we know if the salinity is declined, more evaporation will take place, because evaporation takes place only for the water and not the salt. So given this reason, Bay of Bengal sees a high evaporation. And because of this, it becomes extremely unstable. Low pressure regions develop a lot in the Bay of Bengal region. So it becomes unstable. It becomes low pressure hotspot. And hence it sees many cyclones as compared to the Arabian Sea. One more thing that we have to keep in mind over here is the role of winds that are played. The role of winds are very important because the eastern coastal zone of India is the most prominently affected. What is the role of winds? Role of winds, for example, if I tell you that this is the eastern coastal zone of India, this is the eastern area, we know that 5 degree north onwards, we are going to find Coriolis force. The Coriolis force is extremely important. Coriolis force ensures that now tropical cyclone, if it forms over here, it will start moving towards the north. And we know that Coriolis force is very prominent in the polar areas. And eventually, when the cyclone moves towards the polar areas, it comes into contact with the tropical easterlies, which are known as the easterlies or the trade winds. Now, the easterlies or the trade winds ensure that the cyclone does move toward the north, but it also at the same time starts moving towards the west, because it shifts its tangent. Now here, because of this reason, this particular zone is highly impacted by tropical cyclones. Okay, and in India, Odisha is the most prominently affected, the highest affected. So not only the Coriolis force moves the tropical cyclone towards the north, but also the trade wind starts to shift them towards the northwest. And this is the reason why the eastern zone of India is highly impacted. If we talk about the name, how the names of the cyclones are given, it's important because it is extremely important. It has been asked in the examination many a times. So let's see how the names are given. Naming of a cyclone is also very important. So first of all, naming occurs with the help of Regional Meteorological Specialized Center. Worldwide, there are 6 RSMCs and 5 tropical cyclone warning centers. These are mandated to issue advisories and name the tropical cyclones in their region. So for India, IMD, for Indian Ocean, Northern Indian Ocean, IMD is responsible for naming the cyclones. And there are 13 countries which actually contribute towards it, naming of the cyclone. So Indian Meteorological Department is one of the 6 RMSCs and provides tropical cyclones and storm surge advisories to 13 World Meteorological Organization and ESCAP members. What are the procedures for naming the cyclones, as well as the advisories. The warning advisories are also issued to these 13 countries: Bangladesh, India, Iran, Maldives, Myanmar, Oman, Pakistan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Sri Lanka, Thailand, UAE, and Yemen. So they provide a list. Actually, back in 2020, there was this updation of list, and final updation of list gave us 169 names. These 169 names have been suggested by 13 countries. 13 countries suggested 13 names. And the names are given in alphabetical order of the country. For example, Senyar was given by the UAE. And after that, we have Y, Yemen. Yemen gave the name Ditwa. Okay. And because of this only, we have a good section of, or a list of names, through which we select which name should be given when to the tropical cyclones. As you can see, this particular list is given to us, and Ditwa is the name. After that, the next name should be Arnab. So this is the way Arnab will be given by, of course, Bangladesh. Then India comes. India gave the name Murasu. So once these 2 columns are exhausted, we will use the 3rd column, then the 4th column, and so on. Many columns are given like this. All right, come on. Now, look at this question. With reference to the tropical cyclone advisory and naming system in the North Indian Ocean, consider the following statements. Only regional specialized meteorological centers are authorized to assign names to tropical cyclones worldwide. A tropical cyclone originating in the South China Sea and later entering the Bay of Bengal is named by RSMC New Delhi as per the WMO ESCAP naming list. Once a tropical cyclone name is used in the North Indian Ocean, it cannot be reused and is permanently retired. And in the current naming arrangement for the North Indian Ocean, all member countries' names are arranged alphabetically, country-wise, and used column-wise in the sequence. India is the only country in the WMO ESCAP panel whose National Meteorological Agency also acts as a rapporteur for finalizing the cyclone name list. You have to solve and answer this question in the comment segment. All right. Till then, thank you so much for watching this class. Bye-bye.